Now coming back to the warning. Hi everyone, how are you? I'm Abel and welcome back to my channel. You guys, guess what? I got to tell you that I am very happy because I finally got to go to school. And since Lumen is right next to my college, I decided to take advantage of the situation and that I finally went out of my house with every precaution needed to get some watercolors I have been wanting for a while. And I am talking about this liquid watercolor by Indart, which I have right over here. And the first thing that I'm going to show you is how I got them. First of all, I just bought 4 colors that were the ones that caught my eye, and these colors are Lobster number 17, Violet number 10, Lemon Yellow number 91, and Cobalt Blue number 59. Each of these little droppers have some information like the content. On the other side, I find how to use them and says that they are made in Italy. And in the last part comes a warning about its use, like you don't supposed to eat it and that should supervise its use when children. Right here I want to take a moment to talk to you about this part of the warning that says that you should not smoke while you are working with this watercolor, which makes me think that perhaps there is a flammable ingredient or something like that in here. But I'm not that sure about it and I am just making some conclusions. And something else that caught my eye about the warning is this that says that you're supposed to avoid direct contact. Well, that did not happen. Of course I got stains in my hands as always, but I will go back to this later on. And now coming back to the product, it comes in these glass bottles and it's actually a dropper, and this is how we are going to apply it. And something very important about this product is that I had to consider that I was going to have to travel around 4 hours perhaps with them, and I was a little worried that the bottles being made of glass may have been broken or something like that. Obviously that did not happen and they arrived in perfect conditions. And now comes the real test for this watercolor, and that's to make a little landscape to see how this material performs once used with water and paper. To prepare them, I will use this palette and I will dilute them with a little amount of water. For the paper, I will work with a piece of my favorite paper, a Canson with a grammage of 300. I will set the paper to the surface with tape. And I will begin by applying a layer of lemon yellow watercolor, and to the edges I will put a little amount of cobalt blue. And obviously I will get green by combining these two colors. And to create more contrast, I will apply just a little amount of violet right on the edge of the paper. I just have to be careful right here because these watercolors in particular are extremely pigmented. Once this whole part is completely dry, I will paint a moon with white acrylic paint. The next step is to create the silhouette of, I would say, some mountains in the center of the paper, and for this I will combine the 4 colors to get a black. For the sea, I will use only the cobalt blue, applying it with the paper dry, and starting from the sides and then dragging it with the brush to the center. And here I just have to be careful to put enough watercolors to be able to see the base I made first. To create a reflection of the moon, I will take white acrylic paint, quite diluted in water, and I will put it with small touches, and then dragging it gently to make some lines, I would say longer at first, and then shorter at the base of the paper. I will give the final details with some markers, like a couple of birds, reflections, and stars. And now I will take off the tape to see the final result. What do you guys think of this watercolor? I have to tell you that I have some problems using them, and the thing is that they are very pigmented. As a matter of fact, this is not the first try with this watercolor, but the fourth. And well, here it goes, that story. As soon as I got them, I wanted to make a galaxy, and if you have been following me for a while, you already know that I love that kind of illustrations. I think they are easy, and I also wanted to stay away from the beach landscapes. But since I did not anything about this watercolor, well, I went way over the top applying it, and at the end, instead of looking like I am showing you right here, that I would define them as mixed but differentiated colors, well, it ended up looking completely black. But I have to say that this is not an issue of the proper material, because what I had to do here was use less watercolor, more water, and then adding more watercolor as I move forward. And this is when I decided to paint one of my loyal beach landscapes. And since at that time I already knew what happened if I combined all four colors, I was going to obtain a deep black. What I did was mix them all together to create the mountain at the background. Now, coming back to the warning I talked to you about that said to avoid direct contact, I said it did not happen, and I got stains all over my hands, which is something that happens to me all the time. And I have to tell you that these were one of the most difficult stains to wash off, because I washed my hands over and over again and the stain just didn't come off. Something I haven't told you is the price, and the day I went to Lumen, I think they had some kind of discount, because in the store and in the website, each of these bottles is around $3, and I got them just a little under $2.5 each. But since it has been way over 2 months, I think, since I got them, I can't really remember. Something I can't show you that well is a comparison, because I don't know that much about liquid watercolor, and I only have this one by ATL that I also bought at Lumen, and that when I got them they were around $1 each bottle. And since we're talking about comparisons, I have to tell you that the Indart watercolor are much more pigmented than the ones by ATL, although these ones by ATL are also very pigmented considering the price, and they resist pretty well the time. I would have to wait some time to see how the illustration made with Indart watercolor resisted time to tell you how well they look. But you have to consider that the ATL watercolor are way more affordable than the ones by Indart, while the Indart watercolor will last longer considering the fact that they are more pigmented, and therefore you would need less material to use them. Besides this, the packaging is also better, and I have to advise you that when you buy them and use them for the first time, you would have to be careful when combining them, so you don't make the same mistakes I made. And I hope that these mistakes I made, that I learned a lot with them, can be of use to you. And if you're not subscribed and you would like to be, hit the subscription button, or you can do that on the image that's over here, and turn on the notification bell so that YouTube will let you know when there's a new video around. Thank you so much for your likes, your comments, and for sharing this content, and I recommend you to see these videos that you may like. Follow me on my social media that's on the screen and in the description box, and I'm off to see you next time. Bye bye!